Can you hear me knocking, knocking on your door? How long will we wait? Hello everybody, welcome back to Symbiotic Vibration. We're going to have a nice casual chat today with regards to what it feels like to be a content creator of the small variant. I would say small, I mean minimalistic, a growing channel, shall we say. I am Evan and I own Symbiotic Vibration. It's a beautiful YouTube channel / community that I'm trying to build, and recently we surpassed 300 subscribers, which I'm really happy about. So thank you to all you beautiful subscribers, and if you are watching this video and you haven't yet subscribed, beautiful community that we're building here, so do feel free to subscribe. And yeah, hopefully you can take something out of this video today if you are someone who's thinking about developing a channel for themselves or creating content, or you're somebody watching this who's just interested in what it feels like to create content. So today I have no plan whatsoever, but I'd like to kind of start on how it feels to start, what's needed in terms of creating content, in terms of the channel itself, how that bleeds into life and how exhausting it can be, and how to learn how to balance all of these things out, what you're going to need to learn and how you could potentially learn those things and where you could start from. And then I will bleed it in towards, I keep saying bleed, that's so strange, I'll bring it in towards the day-to-day running of things, the emotional side, and trying to detach your emotion from the numbers, trying to abstain from following the collective in terms of your virtual identity or your thumbnails or your video titles or whatever it is that you're trying to create, and to try to remain authentic within your expression of whatever it is that you're trying to do, and be yourself, and just believe that that's what's going to get you to where you need to go in the end. So yeah, I think that's enough of an introduction. I might put some pictures throughout this, I might not. This could just be a very casual video because it is Sunday and it's raining out there, and I felt like just having a nice chat in the office. So to begin with, I, Evan, created this channel 8 years ago or so. Now, in the beginning, I had a mass following come in. I say mass, I had about 150 people come in immediately because I had a brain tumor and I was fundraising to save my life. So a lot of these people that helped to save my life, if you're watching this and you did, I love you. I've said this over and over again. But I essentially started with a little bit of a head start. I had 150 followers or so. Now that did minimize because I stopped after 4 videos. I could not handle content creation. I could not handle authentic expression or sharing my vulnerability or trauma because I hadn't looked into any of those things, and I was just coasting on adrenaline and trauma, and my nervous system was constantly in fight or flight mode. And if you want some information on all of that, you can find it all over my channel. That's all I talk about. And yeah, I stopped. And then I came back about 8 months ago, and I consistently rolled out about 5 or 6 episodes on my YouTube channel and some Instagram posts, etc. And I couldn't handle it once again. Now, it was for different reasons. I just didn't have time and space, and eventually I would have to coordinate my life and move things around and move house, actually, move location, reduce hours in job, and yeah, eventually build a life style in which I could balance all of this out, and we'll get into that in a little while. This video shouldn't be too long, hopefully, but if you are thinking about starting a YouTube channel or an Instagram channel or whatever it is that you're trying to do in terms of content creation, I absolutely would. I absolutely would. I believe deep down that everyone's experience is just as important as the next person's. Now, I don't think we all think we're important sometimes, but if we look at humans in an evolutionary standpoint, we want to move in a positive direction. I feel like everyone's experience is just as important as the next, and you sharing your experience could help someone, and that's a beautiful thing, and it most certainly will help you, and I'm going to explain to you why within this video, because yeah, it's a tumultuous and beautiful and vulnerable and exciting process, content creation. Now, obviously that is depending on what you plan to create, but I create honest expression and I share experience, and I love it. And if you're interested in doing such a thing, well then hopefully this video might help. So in the beginning, I bought a camera, an expensive camera, and I used it 4 times, and then I left it go to shit, and it got dusty, and it's actually still in this house, but it's old and outdated. It was a Canon EOS 80D, if I remember correctly. It's actually a nice camera, but obviously there's better out there now. So I made a mistake. I spent, I don't know, it was €1,500 on that camera back in the day. 8 years ago or so, and barely ever used it because I had all of these grand ambitions that I was going to be a YouTuber and things were going to work, and things did work in the beginning. I had a lot of views because I had a bit of a following come over from my whole brain tumor fiasco, and that quickly started to drop out, which is an absolutely natural thing. So if that happens with you and you've got some support from your friends and things like that at the start, naturally people will drop off. Not everybody wants to watch your content, and not everybody owes you anything. So yeah, just understand that, and we'll get into the emotional side of it in a little while. But yeah, I basically just left the camera go to dust and never used it again. And so if you are watching this and you're planning on creating content, and you're planning on sharing, and you want to just go all in, I would take a step back. And before I tell you what it is that you're going to need, all you need to do is grab the phone that you're watching this on, or whatever you have, if you do have a phone or any camera, and take a video and upload it to YouTube and see if you like it. Do this 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. Talk about whatever it is that you want to talk about, share whatever it is you want to share. You will see that engagement does happen, and I will definitely give you all I know with regards to how to help that engagement happen in time. But if you like what the experience gives to you after a month or so, well, then it is time to perhaps invest in some editing software, or edit it into a nice camera or a laptop or whatever it is that you need to use to enhance your creative powers, shall we say. And so I've gone and spent quite a lot of money on content creation at this point, but the reason I've done that is because I'm so sure that I love it. I'm infatuated by creating. I'm a creative person in general. I love the arts. I love playing music. I love creating art in general, and content creation is just a beautiful art form. And if you're a creative person, I can assure you that you will absolutely love content creation. There's just so much scope to create. It's beautiful. And if you're someone who's interested in sharing your own experience, well, then absolutely you're going to love it too. It's an extremely vulnerable, difficult process at times, but it builds such confidence, and it gives such purpose and meaning to life, and it can help people, and it's a beautiful thing. So eventually, when you get to the point where you realize you're going to actually want to do this and you want to put a lot of effort and discipline into it, then go and look at your equipment. Right now, I'm using a Sony a6700, which is a beautiful camera. I've got a couple of Sigma lenses. I'm using the Sigma 55mm lens right now, and I've gone and got a MacBook that's up to date so I can use Final Cut, which I also bought in a package deal. And yeah, I think altogether, including the lighting, including the screens and the camera and the equipment for the camera, etc., I must be 5, 6, 7 grand deep. And I'm really happy about that. I have not claimed any money back whatsoever, and I do not intend to. If that happens as a happy consequence, then great, that's fantastic. But if it doesn't, I'm just really happy to do this. And we'll get into that also in terms of what your motives are, because it's extremely important for you to understand and ground yourself within your values and your motives in terms of what you're doing here, if you're making content or you're creating content. Because yeah, if you're in this just to make money, it's a long road, and it's not very rewarding if that's what you're looking for, I can assure you that. And so yeah, the emotional side is something that I always like to talk about, and I think this is what will differ this video to a regular video in terms of what it feels like to be a small content creator, because I create content with regards to trauma and healing and purpose and addiction and physical traumas, and anything that I've experienced that I feel like could help others, or anything I've researched as such. But the emotional side of content creation is something that I don't hear a lot of content creators speaking about. The ugly side, shall we say. It can be extremely heightening, but it can also be quite depressing, and for many, many reasons. In the beginning, when you start off your journey of content creation, depending on what it is that you want to do, inevitably it is going to take a lot of energy to get good. Now, I'm not going to tell you that I'm amazing at any aspect of content creation, but most certainly I have compounded some experience, and I have some value to offer you in terms of how long it's going to take you to get good at lighting, to understand lighting, to understand sound engineering, to understand sound itself, and how rooms need to be deadened, and this one is not deadened. And Yeah, I'm using a small microphone right now, even though I have two condenser microphones, because this room is not sound dead. And this is the only way I can capture content in this office where it doesn't sound like there's a massive echo. And yeah, these are all things that we have to learn. Then we have to learn the actual capturing itself, the ins and outs of battery power and overheating cameras, which happened to me the last time I tried to make this video, and microphones that are Bluetooth wired or internally dialed in. Are you also going to have to learn how to edit your videos, and social media platforms, and how you're going to have to create your videos in certain aspect ratios to put them in there, how you edit each one differently, what sound decibels is needed for each one, etc., etc. It just goes on and on and on, and there's constantly something to learn, which is also another beautiful aspect of content creation. If you are interested in learning and you're interested in digesting and taking in new skills and connecting with people, it's a fantastic acquisition. So I'm constantly learning, and I'm constantly researching and digesting when I'm not creating, which there isn't much time left anymore. That's another big thing with regards to this. So obviously it can become quite emotional, because you can be tired and you can be putting 30, 40, 50 hours a week plus your job into what you're trying to create here, and you might not see much reward in terms of viewership. You might not see much reward in terms of retention or people commenting or posting within your community or on your posts. And this can be quite an isolating and difficult experience. Sometimes it feels like you're in a room where there's nobody and you're just talking to the walls and there's nobody talking back. And this is, yeah, an unfortunate consequence of content creation in the beginning and throughout, but most certainly in the beginning. If you're starting a new channel and you're going to start producing content, you know, it's going to take a while before you build a following and amass some people that are interested in you and interested in your content. And if you're watching this and you think nobody's going to be interested in you or your content, I can assure you that somebody out there is interested in you. Somebody told me before that there's at least 10,000 people on the planet that want to hear what you say. And I'm a firm believer that there's much more than that. I think everybody's interesting, and I love watching all types of people create content because it's beautiful, especially if it's an authentic expression. And yeah, again, to the emotional stuff, I keep going off on tangents, and you'll notice that I do that because I have no plan. The emotional side of it, it can be extremely vulnerable. Put yourself out there. You're putting yourself on camera. You're basically splicing your soul open and saying, hey, come see me, come look at me. And if you are doing this from a place of authenticity and you're being real with yourself while you're on the camera, it can be a difficult experience. It can bring up a lot of emotion, a lot of memory, a lot of triggers, a lot of trauma trapped in within you. For me, it brings up a lot of shame, a lot of it. You know, I was brought up in an all-boys school where I had to put a mask on and keep myself safe. Not just that, but you know, any workplace I've ever been, in the public, in a small town growing up where everybody knows your name. When I had my brain tumor and everybody knew me, it was, you know, a lot of this stuff was stored in my nervous system as shame. I'm ashamed of it, and I say that now. I'm not ashamed of it now, but I was, and it still comes up sometimes. So I might put a video up one day and I'll get 1,000 views, and I'll be absolutely ecstatic, so delighted. Woohoo! I'm getting attention. That's great. Also, I think that attention is a fantastic thing. Before I get back to what I was saying, when we're children, all we want is attention. We're pack animals, and attention feels nice. And so if you feel like you don't want to post because everybody's going to think you're an attention seeker, well, screw that. It's okay if you seek attention, and it's okay to receive attention. It's a beautiful thing. So I think that's lovely, and I think we should all be sharing each other's experiences and attending to each other's experiences. It's a beautiful thing. It's a means of growing, it's a means of connecting, and it's a means of evolving in a better direction, in my opinion. And now I've gone off track, which does tend to happen because I'm gone on tangents. Okay. Emotional stuff, trauma, yeah. So sometimes after 1,000 views, you might put up a video and you might get 1 view, you might get no views, you might get 3 views. And then feelings of shame will come up, and you might feel like you just want to delete the video, you want to delete all of your accounts, you want to run away. and you want to hide in your cave and never be seen again. And those emotions did used to come up for me quite a lot in the beginning, especially with my Instagram. You know, started off no followers, and right now I've built it up to about 430 or 40 or so, which feels so rewarding and so beautiful to have crafted something from zero to that many over the space of, you know, 8 months to a year. So in the beginning, when there's no one following you and there's not much reach happening with your posts, it can feel shameful. It can feel, that's a good word for that, humiliating. You know, you feel like nobody likes you, nobody wants to listen to you, nobody wants to hear you. But then slowly but surely, as you commit to sharing and sharing and sharing and sharing, people just come along. You know, some people like what you're sharing, some people resonate with what you say, and then they start to comment and commenting on your YouTube shorts or your YouTube videos, your Instagram posts or your TikTok posts. And they reward you with validation for what it is that you're doing and what it is that you're sharing. And it's a beautiful thing. And it's compound interest, like I said. So the more you do, the more you build, the easier the process gets. And I'll be totally straight with you. You know, I was very vulnerable, and I still am some days, even though it's been quite some time now. But the more you do it, the easier it becomes to detach yourself from the numbers, to detach yourself from basically all of those sides of content creation. I have many tips for you today, but I think one of the most beautiful things, if you are still watching this and you're interested in creating content, especially if it's with regards to expressing yourself authentically, be yourself unapologetically. I said this in a post the other day. Just be yourself in your entirety. Try not to shape yourself or mold yourself into something that you're not. You don't need to create a character. If you're into healing content, you don't have to be this grand healer who's always completely balanced and doesn't show any highs or lows. People want to see you for who you are. People want to resonate with you because you're speaking from your heart, because you're speaking from your soul and you're not reading from a script. And again, look, I have 320 odd followers on YouTube, so I'm not your clickbait specialist. I'm not going to tell you to use titles like this or use thumbnails like this to get rapid growth, because I'm not interested in rapid growth. I'm interested in building a core community of people that I want to connect with, that want to connect with me, that like my content and whose content I like. And I think that's a much more reasonable and rational means of going about content creation. So creating yourself, you know, expressing yourself through your creations rather than trying to mimic somebody else's or trying to use thumbnails that are capturing on the eye or using AI to speak over your videos, etc. I would suggest create your channel, start creating your content, start slow, build it up, and listen to your emotions as it goes along. And if you have any interest in trying to understand them, do come over here and leave some comments on my videos or direct message me or whatever, because I have so much experience and I'd be so happy to help any content creator of any size with the emotional side of content creation and how to deal with these triggers and emotions as it goes along, and not to be swallowed by them and try to return to the cave or delete all your content. So yeah, just to let you know, I am here if you do need me at any point. And so now I'd like to speak about what's actually working for me. So in the beginning, I had no experience, so I just created these huge 40-minute documentary style videos that took me so long to create and so long to edit, and I was burning out constantly every single day, and that's why I stopped creating content again. But eventually I would take 4 or 5 months off again, and I would come back maybe 2 or 3 months ago from now, and I decided, okay, I'm ready to get back into the game, and I'm ready to be consistent with it, and I'm ready to be disciplined with it. So I had to shift around my life. You need to create space for creation. You need to create space for editing, for social media. I actually had to create a space for my studio and for editing, where it's mine. This is where I do my work. This is where I get my editing done. This is where I do my social media, and I'm trying my best to remain consistent with it. I haven't really hit full flow yet, but trying Monday, Wednesday and Friday on YouTube. Now it's Sunday today. Friday my camera busted up on me making this exact video, so I never got to post that, but I'm Sunday, and I'm going to try Monday, Wednesday, Friday this week coming. So the long format videos aren't gaining as much reach for me as my short format videos. that's partially due to the fact that people's attention spans just aren't there anymore. Everybody's used to watching shorts and TikTok, which is fine. So trying to accommodate for everybody. I love, my bread and butter is making 40-minute videos, adding in loads of beautiful music and scenery and stuff. And then I'll just cut shorts from those videos, or I will just put up shorts of me speaking to my phone as such, related to whatever topic I'm speaking about within that video or that week. And the same for Instagram and TikTok. I'll either cut from the videos or I'll speak into the phone whenever it is I feel like, because that's the whole idea of authentic expression. You just express what you want when you feel like you want to. And that's a beautiful thing. And so for me, the shorts have gotten the most engagement on YouTube. I'd be getting 500 to 1,000 views on most of my shorts, lots of comments, lots of engagement, lots of reactions. And I react to them in real time most of the time. I'll try and get there within the first hour or so of each comment. And that really helps with engagement to drive it on. And then you can link your long videos to these short videos, which then helps to boost the views on your longer videos because it pulls people from those shorts in. And also most of my subscribers on YouTube seem to be coming from the shorts, or sometimes are coming from Instagram, and the odd one or two coming from long format videos then. And I appreciate every single one of you beautiful subscribers if you are watching this, because yeah, we're just getting started, you know. I really feel like I'm just getting used to what it is that I'm trying to do here. I'm becoming very comfortable on camera. And that brings me to another beautiful tip for you. So if you're watching this and you're interested in creating content, but you're finding it difficult to speak to a camera, that's normal. It's really difficult. I found it so hard in the beginning, but at this point, the camera is my best friend almost. So what I did in the beginning is I stuck loads of pictures all around my camera of my niece, my nephew, partner, family members. A younger picture of me was one of the best ones, and having them around made me feel much more comfortable speaking to the camera, because I was trying to pretend like I was speaking to them. But now what I've started to do over the last couple of months is I see the camera as myself. So when I look into the eye of the camera, I try to imagine that as my soul, as a younger version of myself, and it makes it so much easier to speak to the camera from my heart, from a place of love, sincerity, from a place of care, because I genuinely care about my own soul. And if my soul is reflected back at me in that camera, then it's so much easier to speak to it. So if you are watching this and you're struggling to speak to a camera, then that's the greatest tip you'll ever hear with regards to speaking to the camera, in my opinion, because it has helped me a million times over. And I love speaking to me, so I love speaking to the camera, which means I love speaking to you, and that's working great. So that's probably the best tip you'll hear on this video today. I'm going to look down here because I've forgotten what I'm talking about. Yeah, what have we done so far? We've spoken about getting started, keeping it basic, and being yourself and being expressive and not putting too much money in until you're sure you like to do this, and the insecurities that come up with regards to views, and the shame that will come up, and the emotions that will come through while you're creating all of these things, the exhaustion that will happen until you get good at this, until you eventually find a system that works for you, until you find discipline within all of this. Because honestly, there's no balancing out working a full-time job, creating content consistently, your relationships, etc. If you're going to add in drinking every weekend, or going on the bag, or whatever it is that you do, or eating loads of takeaways and stuff, you're just not going to have the energy to remain consistent with this. You need to sleep. You need to exercise, you need to eat well, you need to drink lots of water, you need to spend time with your loved one, your family, you need to work to make your money, and you need to create content. And that's all you're going to do if you want to be consistent when you're creating content. And I love it. I absolutely love it. And it's just what I want to do in life. I also play music and I try to fit that in, but this is the bread and butter for me. I'm so exhilarated while I create content, and that's why I do it. So if you're watching this and you feel like you're not really interested that much, it's going to be a difficult journey. You really have to just love it. And yeah, that's another tip. So 2 more tips before I go, because I don't want this to be a really long video. But why I keep doing it: because I love it. I absolutely love it, and it's difficult, and I like the challenge. And getting good at all of these things is rewarding, and the time that it takes to get better and better and better, it's beautiful, because you see yourself gaining experience, you see yourself getting better, you see yourself adding skills and value to yourself and to your content and to others' content, which is beautiful. There's so many people that come on to me on Instagram via content creation and asking me questions, asking me what cameras I'm using, how am I doing this, etc. It's beautiful to be able to help. It's beautiful to be able to build a community. And like I was telling you earlier, the community aspect of it is just wonderful. And that's why I didn't want to make any clickbaity titles or do any of that, SEO work to try and pull in as many people as I can fast, because I'm trying to build a beautiful network and community of people that we can all help each other. And I think the organic pace is a beautiful thing. And I think that that's what everybody should be doing, because we're trying to evolve this beautiful species, trying to build these lovely online communities, perhaps bringing them to the real life someday. I'm hoping to be able to meet a lot of my followers along the way and interview them. And yeah, who knows how it's going to go. But one last thing I'll say is that even though it's a very emotional experience, it can be very tumultuous, it can be very draining and tiring and hard to keep consistent and hard to remain disciplined, and sometimes feels like you're speaking to no one, and sometimes you're facing an uphill battle and it's very challenging. It's just as rewarding in terms of growing as a character, learning about these feelings and emotions that are coming through you, learning how hard you can work, learning how hard you can graft to create these things, building all of these new skills, and then eventually compound interest, developing some subscribers onto your channels, onto your Instagram, your TikTok, your YouTube, whatever it is that you're creating, and eventually engagement. You eventually find people that are interested in what you're doing, invested in what you're doing, that want to come along the journey with you, and they start to direct message you, or they start to email you, or they start to comment on your videos and tell you that this has helped them. And it's the most rewarding and beautiful experience that I could offer anybody in terms of advice with regards to content creation, especially if it's going to be authentic expression or directed towards helping people or anything. The engagement is beautiful and it's very rewarding, and you make beautiful connections. I've made so many friends that are in a similar line of work now that do similar content creation. I don't know why I keep doing the hand thing. It's like I'm doing Tai Chi throughout this whole video. I'm just creating energy balls as I speak. But yeah, it's the reward of creating all of these beautiful connections and seeing your vision that you had from the very start. You're going to develop a vision in your head. Maybe you're watching this video and you're thinking, wow, I want to create a YouTube channel now and I want to share my experience, or I want to talk about what it is that I want to talk about. And you go and you do that, and you have this vision in your head, and you're writing it down and you're planning. And you make all the mistakes and you go through all the emotional turbulence, and you have to learn everything from afresh, and you go through months and months and months of turmoil trying to make this all work, and eventually that vision starts to take hold and manifest itself within reality, and people start to come along for the ride and join you, and it's just the most amazing feeling to watch something that has birthed from a thought in your mind to literally becoming something in the physical reality where people are connecting to it and feeling something from it, and it's actually helping somebody in terms of their own journey. It's incredible, and I'm so grateful that I can do this. It's not even for a living, because right now I'm just so deep in the hole monetarily wise with regards to content creation. And will it ever pay me back? It doesn't matter. I love helping people, but if it does, woohoo, that would be great, because it's nice to feel comfortable financially, and I'm putting a lot of work into all of this stuff. You'd have no idea how much work I put into everything here, and hopefully this video has given you some taste as to how much work. But look, I'll leave it at that. It's a beautiful, tumultuous, amazing, emotionally difficult and erratic and exciting experience, and I would tell anybody to try it out, and at least once in their life, to just start sharing and seeing how it feels, because it is just such a beautiful experience. And if you have any questions with regards to everything that I just said, do let me know in the comment section. Please feel free to subscribe to this community, and watch some more of my videos if you're interested. And if you ever want to watch more videos like this, also let me know in the comments. I'll probably do like a regular update. Maybe when I have 1,000 subscribers, I'll do another one, and so on and so forth, and I'll add more value that way. But yeah, this has been a very casual chat. I've just chatted to the camera with no plan as such, and I hope it went well. And happy existence, everybody, until next we speak, which will hopefully be tomorrow.